Drinking buddies, is this the best weeded flight of my entire life? Might just be. Let's do this.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, drinking buddies, as you guys know, I'm a huge weeded bourbon nut, and you'll see two unicorns sitting on the bar here. I apologize if these are things you can't have access to. You know, I got them in lotteries. I waited in line a long time to get them. You know, this one I got at Total Wine here in a raffle. I waited in line so many days to be able to get enough allocations and enough bottles bought and everything to be able to even be in the raffle for that. So I put in a lot of work to get that guy. Same with this old Rip 10, a lot of work to get there. This one here is something that you might be able to put together at home. This is a blend of something that I call Prudent Larue Weller, or Prudent WLW. I think it compares to this. It's not as good, but it's something that you can make at home that's comparable. So the recipe for it, I did 2 parts FAEO1, Maker's Mark's wood finishing series from a couple of years ago, to 1 part Larceny Barrel Proof. But if you don't have FAEO1, don't fret. You could use BRTO1 from last year, or you could use this year's BEP. Why could you use those? Because they are also American oak finished. If you get into some of their French oak stuff, it's just not going to taste very much like Van Winkle. So that I made up, or it's not going to taste very much like Weller, I guess I should say. That I made up, put a barrel spiral in there and let it go for 2 weeks, and it stood up in a blind I did with Marco and Brooks, where we put it up against some unicorns. So this is a really good bottle. I think it's going to stand its own. 10-year Old Rip 10, 107 proof. 12-year and some months WLW, 124.7 proof. The Prudent WLW, I'll put the proof right here because I can't remember, but I do know I have it somewhere. Really good stuff. Anyway, last up, I have not talked about the elephant in the room here, because this is a bottle you can go buy online right now. So I'm calling this my shelf bottle for this. I'm gonna call this one allocated because, you know, you gotta takes 2 allocated bottles to make this, and these 2 guys are unicorns. But can this shelf bottle hold its own? So what do we have here? This is Found North. It's going to be a blend of 73% 21-year and 27% 8-year whiskeys. It's gonna be 73% corn and 27% wheat. It's Canadian, so that might, you know, throw some of you off. But at 116.2 proof, the corn and the wheat in there, this is a bourbon lover's Canadian. Like, that's why I threw it up here. I think it can stand its own against these. At this point, I'm rambling. It is time to dive right in. Well, that is a heavenly nose. Yeah, that's really, really unique on the nose. It's the first thing you get is a little light thing of oak, but it's not something that takes over. Next up is dessert. So like shortbread cookies. It's almost giving me like a cinnamon roll on the nose. Maybe I'm crazy. The mouthfeel on that is just otherworldly. It's fantastic. It just drips over your tongue with this syrupy viscosity, dries it out with a little bit of the barrel oak. That is so good. We got some, you know, your brown sugars, your bourbon vanillas, those classic things, but oak is really prominent here. And that like shortbread cookie, that like desserty, like something baked, like cinnamon roll is coming through here because there's a little bit of a cinnamon thing. I'm not sure which one that is, but that's really good. Wow. Excellent. A++, whatever's in glass 1. So let's go into glass 2. I'm gonna rinse. Glass 2. Very different nose. This one's more bright and like sweet and desserty, and this is more dark and damp and wet wood and a little bit of a dark cherry and yeah, a little more dankness on this one. I want, like, these 2 I think are a little bit lower proof, so I wonder if I may have gotten the lower proof guys first, because that's not tasting hot at all, and neither was that. And this is my first drink of the day. But yeah, I wouldn't guess either of these to be like over 110 proof. They're drinking pretty light. Great mouthfeel on here. This one has a better mouthfeel, but the palate is a little bit better on this one. Just because it's delivering some really great fruit things. There's cherry here. There's something like, wow, it's not a grape. It's like a, there's something melony in here, like melon, not like somebody named Melanie. This is otherworldly. It's slightly better than Glass One, but that Glass One was really good. That's so good. I mean, I'm saying it's low proof, so it could be the Old Rip 10, but it's giving me that it's so good it could be the WLW, but I don't think it's that high a proof. Now this one is oaky on the nose. This is a wet tree stump, and I'm in a meadow. A little bit of a grass thing here, fresh cut grass maybe. Cherry on the nose, something I didn't get on the nose of the other two. Cola, cherry cola. There's a little bit of a peanut thing on here that I don't normally get off of my Prudent WLW, but that's kind of leaning me to believe that's the Prudent WLW, because there's some peanut going on here, but there's also a really nice like waxy cherry, like cherry candy going on this one. And then just classic bourbon notes like bourbon, vanilla, and caramel. A little bit of a, you know what? There's also a little bit of a green apple thing here, like a sour green apple. I think that's the Prudent WLW, and it is good. It is something that you can throw together at home, but it is not as good as the first two glasses. And I wouldn't say it's close, to be honest. And I really like that bottle, but I think that is the Prudent WLW, and I don't think it's close. 4. Oh, now this is like way mustier than any of the others. This is like musty, funky, like wet basement vibes. Old books, leather shoes, cigar box. That one is cinnamon and cherry, bourbon vanilla, and like a molassesy sweetness. Oak. That's the lowest proof. Now that I've gone through all 4, that's the lowest proof. So this is probably the Old Rip 10. And it is, whatever's in this glass is not as good as these two. These two are really standing out. It's like, and then these two guys are like, these two guys are really standing out. I'm gonna go through these again, and I'll fast forward through this part or cut it out completely, but I gotta go through them one more time. You don't wanna hear the same tasting notes twice. So we're gonna do that, and then I'll give you my final rankings. I feel like I got a clean sweep coming to me right now, which is probably not a good thing for this particular blind, because I really wanted to see how this bottle shined, but I'm pretty sure I know which one it is. So there could be some bias in the way. I will freely admit that they did send me this one for free, so take my review with a slight grain of salt, but I am telling you that it stands up with these. In fact, I think it's better than this one, which I think is the Old Rip 10, and it's better than this one, which I think is the Prudent WLW. I think this is the Found North. I think this is the WLW. The WLW takes a slight edge over the Found North, but it is not a chasm here. We're talking about this bottle going for thousands of dollars, and this bottle that you can buy right now for about 150 bucks online. You can buy this now, and it's not as good as WLW. I'm sorry, Found North, for saying that. I'm sure they're not offended by me saying that, but it is in that ballpark, and I'm liking it better than Old Rip 10 right now, and I freaking love Old Rip 10. I was actually saying the other day, if this should probably be a video, so I should probably cut this, but I'm throwing it out there anyway. I was saying the other day, if you had unlimited access, no, I'm doing this in a video. This is just a tease for something I'm doing later. But yeah, that's the third place, the Old Rip 10, and then the fourth place is the Prudent WLW, which I'm kind of disappointed with how it showed against these, but maybe it's just purely because I threw it up against two unicorns and this bottle that no one realizes is a unicorn. You got to get this thing before it's gone. Yeah, it's just not. It's not stacking up. It's not stacking up. But I I do like the peanut butter and cherry together. It gives it a really nice like peanut butter and jelly sandwich thing. Oh, and the thing that I couldn't quite put my finger on here on the nose is buttercream frosting. And that sweetness kind of continues on the palate, really giving me, yeah, that is just so good. But yeah, let's figure out what I'm dealing with here. Go least favorite first. Yeah, that was the Prudent WLW. That was the Old Rip 10. This was the Found North, and this one was the Prudent. Or, well, I guess you should look at it just to be sure. But yeah, the only thing left is the WLW. What did we learn here today? William Larue Weller continues to be the best whiskey I've ever tasted in my life. Nothing else can touch it. For me personally, your palate could be different. But if you have a palate similar to mine, if you've liked my recommendations, you need to go online right this instant and buy this Found North because it is so good and it's available right now. I know it sounds like a lot, but hey, when we're talking 8-year and 21-year-old whiskeys blended together at 116.2 proof, this is one to not miss. You have got to add this one to your shelf. This is going top shelf. I'm going to bump something. This has got to go top shelf. Top shelf, generally, I put on things that I really love, or maybe that I paid a lot for. So if I didn't love it, I probably paid a lot for it. So it might be on the top shelf. But I have bumped some bottles that I did pay a lot for. Like this is one of the most expensive bottles I've bought, but it's just not as good as a lot of the stuff on the top shelf. So it doesn't go up there. I thought about throwing that against this, but the low proof, and this would slaughter. This would slaughter any Old Fitz I've tasted. This would slaughter. I got to be careful saying this one because I want to keep my reputation with makers on good standing, but this would slaughter any bottle of makers I've tasted. I swear, guys. Yeah, go buy this. Make some of this, maybe. I don't know. I knocked it down a peg today. Maybe it's just not my palate today, but I am rambling. Thank you so much for watching, Drinking Buddies. I really appreciate every single one of you for liking, subscribing, and then those of you who have clicked the link down below to become a channel member. Man, you are making this possible. I can't do this type of stuff without you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you on the next one.